So I haven't done a video in a while, and after putting hundreds of hours into Valheim in vanilla without any mods or console commands, I decided to try out just a few mods, not to drastically change the game itself, but to enhance it. And enhance I did. So I'm running 4 mods, and I'm going to start with the simplest ones first. Because there's not a whole lot of explanation. There's not a lot of moving parts. But these are the 4 mods that I'm using. Now, technically there's 5 mods, but I haven't used one yet. And it's a mod that allows your wolves, up to however many you set, come through the portal with you. So in my vanilla experience, I was taking wolves across the ocean to breed and go fight with me. But one mod lets you put the wolves through the portal with you. So that's pretty neat. So the first mod is called Plant Anything. And it does exactly what it sounds like. Once you've gathered the resources, you can plant everything. Now there are some switches that you can turn on and off. I switched them off. It allows you to only plant plants that are in the biome that they came from. So like the thistle and the blackberries and mushrooms, the yellow mushrooms, you'd only be able to plant in the black forest. So I shut that off. It lets you do other cool things like this, like the ancient trees in the swamp. They drop seeds now with this mod, and you can just plant those big ugly bastards wherever you want, and that's pretty fun. So that is what it sounds like. It's that simple. And when we get into the second mod, it is called Any Portal. So what this does is you tag your portals like normal, but any other portals that you create anywhere else on the map, they show up in a drop-down menu. So you don't have to tag both ends the same to connect them, nor in your home base like I have on my other world, have 10 portals lined up connected to 10 other locations. You have this simple interface that lets you just click on the portal that you want to go to. And it works both ways. So you're not changing the name of home base, but when I go through to the mountain portal, I can switch it to travel, trophy, vendor, elder, whatever the hell I want, and it will take me there. So those are the 2 simple ones that are exactly what they sound like. Now, the third one that I've been using, which is just freaking amazing, is the creature level creator. And that one gets a little more intense. There are a lot of different dependencies that these mods need to run. Not a lot, but enough. So the creature level control, not creator, sorry. It lets you choose different parameters. So like increases their hit points for every player that's in the server. But what I get to is the difficulty. I left mine on custom. Secondary factor, this lets you choose the age of the world, distance from spawn, or number of bosses killed. And that will change how the creatures scale up and the difficulty of the fights. So there is minimum stars. I put it at 1. I don't want a bunch of 0-star creatures running around once they start spawning. And maximum stars, I put none. So far, I think I've seen a 6-star creature, a lot of 5 stars, 4 stars, but I haven't seen anything super crazy yet. You can change the timer for when they respawn in the dungeon, so the skeletons can respawn, or the furlings can respawn in their camps if you so desire. You can change, and this one's fun. This is the fun part, is the creature size per star is 40% bigger. So that doesn't mean it's almost twice as big and almost twice as big. They're increments, but once you come across like a 4-star troll in the wild and it's towering over the tree line, or even the gray dwarf brute at 4 stars is a sight to behold. And I'll splice in a couple of clips of some of those things here. The interesting thing with this, and this will tie into the epic loot mod, which doesn't break the game if you're using this mod, is that bosses can spawn at different star levels, which the first time I summoned the first boss, he was a 3-star with a modifier, and he wrecked me. His modifier was summoner, so every 20% of his health that I would take off, he would summon a Grey Dwarf Brute. So not only did I have him to contend with, then I had the Grey Dwarf Brutes running around as I was fighting him as well. And he was 3 stars, so he did increased damage, had increased health. The second time I fought him, just to see what it was, he was a 2-star, but his ability or modifier is he split. So after a certain amount of damage, he would split into 2 of himself. And then if you killed that one would split. And I don't know if the split is a random chance or it's just going to happen a certain number of times, but I had like 6 of them running around, and that was pretty fun. So you can change their health, their modifiers. You can there's a lot of different things that you can tweak, like the leveling up, how many creatures you kill before things get more intense. You can change I didn't change any of these, the percentage that they can drop additional loot per star for bosses, multipliers for items, so on and so forth. You can have bosses can drop multiple trophies. I haven't had that happen yet, but it can. Multiplier for the seagulls and crows, more feathers. And then, so you can just go through. I turned on the bosses can spawn with special effects because it's just fun, not knowing what the hell you're going to run into. So you can go through and you can tweak the living hell out of all of this, different affixes and whatnot. And then epic loot. So this one gives it like a Diablo or World of Warcraft style loot system with rarities. And I changed my colors to match the World of Warcraft scheme, but you can change a couple few things in here. But I want to get out of this so I can show you some of the loot that drops. And one of the main things you can do is there's a toggle for must have crafted. So what that does is you're not going to get any loot drops with different rarities unless you've already crafted the item first, which is kind of neat if you're being more purist and you don't want to be getting, let's say, an iron pickaxe while you're still walking around in the meadows. I left that off because I don't care if I'm going to get things that I haven't made yet, because I'm still going to play through. So where this comes into play is you're thinking, okay, with these bosses, how do you contend? Well, so you've got green, which is basically going to have one modifier on it. And for my hammer, this one increased my durability by 60%. So I can use it longer before it's going to break. Who cares? So then blue is going to have 2 or 3 modifiers, I think. This one is weightless and reduces the stamina use. So when I'm mining, it uses less stamina. So that's kind of neat. It's not game breaking. It's not changing anything. This torch, for instance, is an epic torch. The Ragnarok Rack is indestructible, so it's never going to run out of light. Adds 15 spirit damage. Movement speed penalty is reduced, and it's weightless. So it's like I'm carrying nothing. It's never going to break. Same with my blood emblem, my epic black metal shield. Now, I shouldn't be making black metal anything until after I've finished the mountain biome. I just finished the Black Forest and going into swamp, but I wandered into the plains and I shot down some mosquitoes. And one of them dropped this. They dropped a silver sword at one point and dropped this bow. So like this one's indestructible, has weight rate reduction and spirit resistance. The sword, 14 frost damage. The throwable thing is pretty funny. That gets affixed to like some of the big sledges, and that's fun because you can push the middle mouse button and it hucks it. This is what loot looks like when it drops. So you can pick that back up. And this bow adds lightning damage, reduces my stamina by use, and increases damage by 13%. Now, all of these things, if you're just playing without the creature level control, you're just going to destroy things. Nothing's ever going to be stronger. But since they have a random chance to spawn from 1 star to a maximum of who knows how many stars, it's still a challenge. Like even what I'm wearing right now, you can see my food is crap because I haven't gotten a lot of food. A 4-star Death Skeeto that splits or does fire damage or is shielded, so it's only taking 5% of the damage it would normally take. I'm done. It's all over. It's just over. So the other things with the epic loot is you can disenchant magic items. I'll show you that here. Let's pull this guy down. It's called sacrificing. And what they will give you, I guess I can break my swamp key. It's going to give you materials. And what those materials, what those materials are important for is things like this. You can craft a leather belt. Great. You can craft a golden ring. And by themselves, they have no stats. They do absolutely nothing. But when you enchant them, depending on your level of enchantment, this leather belt that I enchanted gives me 20 stamina, poison resistance, lightning resistance, and health regen. That's pretty freaking awesome. It's better than the weight carrying belt that I was wearing. And over here at your other bench, the Epic Loot mod lets you combine lesser dusts or regents into larger ones. So you can kill a crap ton of enemies and rank them up to epic or legendary to do better enchants. Now you cannot enchant items that are already enchanted. You can only enchant a base item. So now finally with the epic loot system, and this, I didn't know about this. I just knew the epic loot. I was like, okay, I get to loot stuff, enchant stuff, disenchant stuff. Neat. Well, when I finally found my vendor, he has a whole slew of new options as well. So he sells his normal stuff here. Then you've got the secret stash, and these all refresh at different times, where you can buy stones, whatever. You earn these different tokens from different missions. He has gambling. Hello, Diablo. So you can go ahead and spend your money and hope to get something good. He does have rare items that will get randomized stats. He sells treasure maps, and it'll give you a area on the map, and I'll show you that in a second, where the treasure is going to be. So far, they haven't been buried. They've just been sitting there. And then he's got bounties, which is how you earn these extra tokens to do your thing. So we'll click on Rush Skull Crusher. We're going to accept the bounty, and then it shows you on the map where you're going to find him. So you do have a time frame to get these bounties and get back to the vendor and turn it in for the rewards. Those are the things that I'm using right now as modifications. It doesn't let me fly. It doesn't let me teleport. There's no infinite items. I'm not pulling ore through my portals. I'm still playing pretty vanilla with the added loot system and the random creature level and scaling that comes with the creature level control. Plant everything was just an extra little thing that I wanted. I wanted to be able to plant the thistle and the blueberries and not have to wander all over if I wanted. I did not know I was going to be able to plant the ancient trees, and so that was pretty neat. All right, let's finish this off by summoning a boss.